In this demonstration, we'll go through the variety of type tool functions that Illustrator offers so that you can have greater variety and control in your typing process. So, first one that we went over in the last video is just typing regularly, clicking your type tool, or the shortcut is T. Clicking anywhere you want your type to be. If it's not exactly where you want it to be, that's fine, we can move it later. Choosing a font, I'm going to pick one that I downloaded. You can watch how to do that in the previous tutorial video. And I'll up my font. At this point, it's a lot like kind of like Microsoft Word or familiar functions. And I'll type my name here. And instead of just having to re-highlight my text and move my font size up and down like this, I can take kind of a more direct approach to resizing by clicking my selection tool. The bounding box shows up around my type. I can hold down my shift key and then drag at one of the corners diagonally, just like in Photoshop if I want to make something larger. Then I can double click inside my bounding box. So again, using your selection tool that selects everything, not just your direct selection, which selects individual anchor points. Holding down shift and then double clicking to make that change permanent. We can also manipulate the stroke and the fill of the text, like I briefly talked about before. My stroke is the line that goes around the outside of the text. I can choose from here, or I can choose from my swatches panel. Say OK. Right now, to highlight this, choose this. There's stroke options up here. So I'll increase the stroke to 6 points, and then I have a thicker line around the outside of my text. I can also change the fill color with my text highlighted. I change it to a pattern as well. You have your swatch panel over here. If you don't have it, go Window, down to Swatches, and then click. And I can click this library key here to access specific color patterns, or different color swatches, as well as patterns and textiles and things like that. So maybe I would choose patterns, decorative legacy, and then I could fill my text with a pattern as well. And later on in this class we will learn more about how to create your own custom pattern, so you don't have to just rely on the ones that you see in Illustrator. So we know how to type and to resize and then to change the stroke and the fill. Now we will explore a little bit more the type on a path. Let's look at type on a path tool. So horizontal type on a path, vertical type on a path. I'll demonstrate the horizontal because it's the same principle. It's just telling Illustrator if you want your type to go horizontally or vertically. So first I have to make a path. And I can do that in a number of ways. I can take my pencil tool, and for this I don't want to fill. We just want to make a line. We don't want the line to be filled in with anything, so oops. I'm going to redo that and deselect this by hitting Shift-Control-A to deselect. And there we go. I'll click my pencil tool. I do not want, like I was saying, the fill. I can have a stroke. I can always take that away later. But I'm just going to draw a path. Let's say I want my type to go along this. Now, like I said, once I see my line, I can get rid of that line. The path is still here, indicated by the anchor points and the blue line, but I won't be able to see it when it's not selected. So I'll hit that Type on a Path tool. I'll click on my path. I want my type a little bit smaller. Again, you can always decide on different strokes and fills. There we go. And I can type on here. And then when I hit Shift Control A to deselect or to click off of it, you see that that path that we saw in blue is now invisible, and I have created kind of a custom shape that my type has followed. I can also select all of this, hit Control T. Oops, I mean, click this. You don't need to hit Control T because it's not Photoshop. And you can hold down Shift is what I meant to say. And then click and drag this anywhere you want. And that's type on a path tool. The next thing that I'll show you is area type tool. And you can create area in a number of ways. You can use any of these shapes. I'll choose the star tool. You could also use your pencil tool to create an enclosed area. So that would be getting rid of the fill here. Here's an enclosed area that I could use, creating a shape like this. Here is an enclosed area. I could use, if you're familiar with the pen tool, we'll go over this in a future assignment, but if you are familiar with creating custom shapes with your pen tool, that's another way to make enclosed paths. I'm just gonna, I think, work with my star shape right here, and I'll click and hold. Area type tool, I'll choose that, and then you'll notice that there's a circle around the cursor instead of a square. And anytime there's a circle, when you click, Illustrator's telling you that it's ready to type inside that shape or form. So I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. I'll do 20-point font so you can see it a little bit better. And my computer's lagging. Let's see here. Let's bring this back to 20. So as you can see, you can create text within a shape. Now this text is a little bit large. Maybe selecting this and then bringing that text down would then better start to give me that outline of the shape while having the text still be visible. I can also play around with the paragraph function, so if I want to make the space between my letters or between the rows of my text larger or smaller, I can click paragraph and then have these, oops, these numbers go into the negative. So there's that paragraph function as well. That about covers everything here. Again, the difference between the area type tool, vertical area type tool, type on a path tool, vertical type on a path tool is the direction that your text is going. So in the next video, we will go over some more advanced text manipulation options that you can use in Illustrator to create your posters.